You might think the electric car race is all about top speed, blinding acceleration, or stretching every last mile from the battery. But while every other automaker is chasing the same flashy stats, Elon Musk is playing a different game entirely. He's just pulled back the curtain on an innovation that targets something hidden, something almost forgotten: the motor. That silent powerhouse, the beating heart of every EV, is about to cause a very loud revolution. This isn't just another upgrade. Imagine a motor that's stronger, tougher, and hyper-efficient. Now imagine it's also dramatically cheaper to build. Sounds impossible, right? Well, here's the knockout punch. Tesla is doing it all without relying on the rare earth magnets the entire industry depends on. With one move, the rulebook has been torn up. This is no longer just about flash, it's about building a sustainable EV that can truly scale for the masses. So should the competition be worried? Has Tesla proven once again that real innovation comes from a long-term vision, not just brute force? The world is watching, and the answer seems to be a deafening yes. We're about to dive deep into how this motor works and why it changes everything. If you love seeing the future unfold, make sure you hit that subscribe button for Dravexa, because you won't want to miss what's coming next. But to understand this leap forward, you first have to rewind the clock. Because there was a time when the biggest believer in EVs was actually their biggest skeptic. You heard that right. In early interviews, Elon Musk dismissed electric cars as a passing trend, a flashy fad doomed to fail. And who could blame him? Back then, the world ran on petrol. EVs were seen as glorified golf carts, slow, overpriced, with barely enough range to get across town. Fate, however, had a twist in the script. The man who mocked the electric car was destined to become its greatest champion. Today, Tesla isn't just a car company, it's a global movement that turned the auto industry on its head. While legacy automakers were busy polishing their old-world engines, Musk made a staggering bet. He went all in on a technology everyone else called a dead end. That single leap of faith didn't just pay off, it single-handedly redrew the map for the entire automotive world. Fast forward to today and you'll find Tesla isn't just ahead of the competition, they've practically left them in the dust. Forget the hype for a moment and just look at the raw numbers. In 2023 alone, Tesla delivered 1.8 million vehicles. That's nearly 5,000 brand new Teslas hitting the road every single day. The Model Y became a global phenomenon, and in the first quarter of 2024 alone, another 386,000 cars were delivered. This isn't just growth, it's a takeover. And this machine isn't slowing down. You see gigafactories sprouting up across the globe. From China to Europe to the United States, a relentless push to meet a demand that just keeps growing. But here's the real genius. Tesla shed its image as a toy for the rich. With the Model 3 and the promise of an even more affordable Model 2, they're proving that the future of driving isn't just for the wealthy, it's for everyone. You see, Tesla's secret weapon wasn't just the car itself, it was the entire world they built around it. While other companies were still figuring out how to build an EV, Tesla built the whole puzzle. A sprawling supercharger network so you're never stranded. Over-the-air updates that make your car better while you sleep. They didn't just master one piece of the game, they mastered the whole board, leaving everyone else scrambling to catch up. But to truly get what's happening now, you have to travel back in time. Back to a world lit by gas lamps and powered by steam. Back to the mind of one man whose vision started it all, Nicola Tesla. Over a century ago, this lone genius imagined a motor that ran not on explosions and fumes, but on a silent, invisible force. A motor with no smoke, no vibration, and no pollution. To the people of his time, it must have looked like pure magic. His secret was alternating current, or AC, the very foundation of the electrical grid you're using right now. But he didn't just discover the power, he built the key to unlock it, the AC motor. Imagine the world of his day, filled with clanking, dangerous steam engines. Then imagine his invention. No fire, no belts, no breakdowns. You just give it power, and it runs, silently, perfectly. It was one of the most elegant and revolutionary ideas in history, and it's the seed that would one day grow into the EV revolution. If you appreciate these deep dives into the tech that shapes our world, do us a favor and hit that like button. It tells us we're on the right track. Now, jump back to the present day. You have Elon Musk, a man who took that century-old dream and plugged it directly into the modern world. When he created Tesla Motors, you have to understand, he didn't just borrow the name. He inherited the entire philosophy, the bold thinking, the relentless drive, and the core belief that clean energy could and should change the world. In every way, the Tesla you see on the road today is Nicola's original vision, reborn for the 21st century. So, how did he do it? Musk took that foundational AC motor concept and fused it with cutting-edge battery systems. When the very first Tesla Roadster rolled out, under its hood was a direct descendant of Nikola Tesla's design. But this wasn't just some dusty antique. This motor was brushless, meaning fewer parts to wear down, less maintenance, and a much longer life. But the real game-changer was the feeling. The instant you touched the accelerator, the Roadster didn't just go, it surged. No lag, no revving, just a silent, immediate wave of torque that left gasoline cars in the rearview mirror. But here's where the story gets even smarter. The motor didn't just use energy, it could actually create it. This is where you see the genius of regenerative braking. Imagine this. In a normal car, when you brake, all that forward motion is just wasted as heat. But in the Roadster, the motor would instantly reverse its role, becoming a generator. It captured the car's momentum and sent it straight back to the battery as fresh power. Every time you slowed down, you were recycling energy. This wasn't just clever, it was a completely new way to think about driving, and it blew people's minds. Of course, for a mind like Elon Musk's, good enough is never the end of the story. The AC motor was brilliant, but he knew it could be better. As batteries improved and charging stations popped up, he pushed his engineers to refine, to perfect, to evolve. What started as a tribute to a forgotten genius quickly became a relentless mission, a mission to build the future. And that brings us to the Tesla of today. The motors inside these cars are no longer just spinning pieces of metal. They are intelligent hearts, fusing timeless physics with cutting-edge software. They manage everything from acceleration to energy recovery with pinpoint precision. The quiet, brushless motor of the past has become a digital brain, a perfect fusion of history and tomorrow. And if you think that's impressive, make sure you're subscribed to Dravexa, because this story is just getting started. So, when you see a sleek Tesla glide past you on the highway today, remember where it all started. It wasn't in a Detroit boardroom. It began in the mind of Nicola Tesla, a man who imagined a world free from the noise and pollution of combustion engines over a century ago. What Elon Musk did was find that blueprint for the future, dust it off, and plug it in. That's what makes Tesla different. This isn't just another car company. It's the torchbearer for a revolution started by one of history's greatest minds. And the first shot fired in that revolution, the Tesla Roadster. When it first launched, you have to understand, nobody took it seriously. The critics called it a novelty, a trendy toy that would vanish once the hype died down. To them, nothing could ever replace the roar of a petrol engine. But Tesla wasn't just selling a car. They were selling an entirely new way of thinking. The Roadster's secret weapon was its AC induction motor, a direct descendant of Nikola Tesla's own design. Now, think about every motor you've ever known. They rely on brushes to work, parts that create friction, make noise, and eventually wear out. The Roadster's motor had none. It was completely brushless. That meant a ride so smooth and quiet it was almost surreal. But the real magic happened when you hit the accelerator. There was no revving, no delay, just a pure, instantaneous wave of torque that launched the car forward in dead silence. While gas cars were still building up speed, the Roadster was already gone, leaving drivers completely stunned. This wasn't just impressive, it was a fundamental shift in what a car could be. Suddenly, people realized that electric didn't have to mean slow and boring. It could mean thrilling, powerful, and futuristic. And just when you thought it couldn't get any smarter, Tesla revealed its second trick: regenerative braking. In your typical car, braking is just wasted energy, lost as heat. Tesla flipped that idea on its head. The moment you lifted your foot off the accelerator, the motor would reverse its job, turning the car's momentum back into electricity to recharge the battery. You are literally recycling energy as you drove. This single car reshaped the entire auto industry. And if you love seeing old rules get broken, show your support for Dravexa and hit that like button. So imagine you're driving that original Roadster. Every time you slow down, you're not just stopping, you're literally refueling, capturing energy that gas cars simply throw away. This tiny boost to the range was a brilliant trick, a level of efficiency internal combustion could only dream of, and it left people stunned. But even with all its magic, this first-generation motor had a hidden flaw, a critical weakness. You see, it was a beast at low speeds, but push it on the highway and the story changed. To maintain its power, the motor had to pull massive amounts of current from the battery. More current meant more heat, and more heat required complex cooling systems just to keep it from frying. Even worse, it was a vampire on your battery life. Your driving range would plummet, which was a huge problem in a world where a charging station was a rare sight. Tesla's engineers knew this was the roadblock. If they were ever going to build an EV for everyone, they had to solve this puzzle. The motor had to evolve. And that single challenge, that one critical flaw, is what sparked Tesla's real journey of innovation. This is where the next giant leap happens. With the Model 3, Tesla quietly introduced a completely new kind of motor. It was smarter, sipping energy where the old one would gulp it down, yet it still delivered that breathtaking, instant power. The Roadster's motor was the groundbreaking prototype, but the Model 3's motor was the future refined. It was the proof that you could have insane performance and incredible efficiency in the same package. And that's the genius of their strategy. The Roadster's limitations weren't failures, they were lessons. Those problems with heat and efficiency became the fuel that pushed Elon Musk's team to invent something better, stronger, and smarter. The motors in Teslas today are light years ahead in torque, range, and reliability, and it's all because of that first humble Roadster, the car that silently shattered every expectation and proved the electric future was not only possible, but thrilling. Now, let's talk about what happened next, because this is where the quiet revolution truly began: the motor inside the Tesla Model 3. When the car launched, you probably saw it as just the affordable Tesla, the budget-friendly EV for the masses. But hidden beneath the surface, something massive had changed. Tesla had slipped in a brand new type of motor, pushing their technology to a completely different level. There was no flashy reveal, no big announcement from Musk, but for anyone who got behind the wheel, the difference was undeniable. You could feel it. The response was sharper. The torque felt even more instantaneous. The entire drive was smoother, almost effortless. So what was the secret? Tesla had engineered a completely new motor. Don't worry about the long technical name. What you need to know is why they built it. They had studied the flaws of their old motor, how it guzzled current, ran hot, and lost its edge at high speeds. Their solution was an incredibly advanced design built around powerful rare earth magnets. Imagine these magnets strategically embedded deep inside the motor, locked in place to remain perfectly stable even when spinning at incredible speeds. The result? A motor that didn't just give you more torque and faster acceleration, it ran cooler, used less energy, and was rock solid under pressure. It was a revolution that didn't need applause. You could feel it through the accelerator pedal. But here's where the story gets really mind-bending. Tesla didn't just upgrade the hardware, they gave the motor a brain. This motor doesn't just run on electricity, it thinks. Here's how. Powerful software is constantly analyzing how you drive. When you're zipping through city traffic, it gives you maximum torque for that instant, neck-snapping response. But the moment you hit the open highway, it automatically shifts its focus to efficiency, reducing torque to save energy and extend your range, all without you ever feeling a thing. This isn't just a simple switch, it's a dynamic, real-time adjustment. A network of sensors and smart algorithms constantly fine-tunes the power flow, ensuring you get the perfect performance for every single moment of your drive. This motor isn't just a part, it's a digital co-pilot working silently to make your drive faster, smoother, and longer. The impact is crystal clear. The Model 3 doesn't just offer raw speed, it delivers refined, intelligent power. And if you think giving a motor a brain is the kind of innovation worth talking about, hit that subscribe button for Dravexa. You haven't seen anything yet. And the upgrades don't stop there. This new motor isn't just smarter, it's leaner. Being lighter means the whole car sheds weight, and in the world of EVs, less weight means more of everything you want. Better performance, longer range, and higher efficiency. Plus, with fewer moving parts, you're looking at a motor built for the long haul. That means fewer breakdowns, fewer trips to the service center, and more time just enjoying that smooth, reliable drive. So you might be asking yourself, with a breakthrough this huge, why wasn't there a massive press event? Why didn't Tesla shout this from the rooftops? Because that's not how they operate. For Tesla, innovation isn't about hype, it's about solving problems. They don't make noise, they make progress. They test, they perfect, and they release it when it's ready. This motor is the perfect symbol of that philosophy, a seamless blend of classic engineering and modern intelligence. So the next time you see a Model 3 glide by, remember what's hiding under the hood. It's not just a motor, it's a quiet masterpiece. But to understand what makes it a masterpiece, you have to look closer at its secret ingredient. The one component that makes all of this power possible, neodymium. Now this isn't your everyday metal, it's a rare earth element, and its magnetic force is almost unbelievable. A tiny piece can create a magnetic field that completely dwarfs traditional materials. This allows engineers to build motors that are smaller, lighter, and brutally powerful, exactly what an EV needs. When you feel that instant, silent shove into your seat, that's neodymium at work. But like any powerful magic, it comes with a dark side, a hidden cost. And this is where the clean, green image of electric cars gets complicated. As powerful as neodymium is, it presents a set of challenges that are downright alarming. First, the name itself is a warning, rare earth. This stuff is in critically short supply. You can't just find it anywhere. Getting it out of the ground requires massive, deep earth mining operations that use a cocktail of harsh, toxic chemicals and consume immense amounts of land and water. And that brings us to the second, devastating price, the environmental destruction. Mining neodymium leaves behind a toxic trail of waste that seeps into rivers, poisons farmland, and contaminates the soil. This isn't just a threat to nature, it poses a direct risk to the health and safety of the communities living anywhere near these sites. For the very people we're trying to help by building clean cars, the damage can be permanent. And if you believe these hidden costs are a story that needs to be told, hit that like button to show your support for Dravexa. But the environmental cost is only part of the story. There's a third, and arguably the most dangerous risk of all, the geopolitical time bomb. You see, neodymium isn't spread evenly across the planet. The vast majority of it comes from just a handful of nations, with one country sitting on top of the entire supply chain, China. Now just imagine what happens if they decide to turn off the tap. A sudden export ban, a massive price hike, it would send a shockwave through the entire EV industry. Production would grind to a halt, prices would skyrocket, the entire electric dream could slam into a brick wall, all because the most advanced technology is chained to the politics of a single resource. This is why Tesla is desperately trying to break those chains. The goal is to build a car that can truly scale for the future, one that isn't held hostage by toxic mining or global politics. And the answer might be hiding in the most unexpected place: a different kind of magnet. They're called ferrite magnets, and they're made from iron oxide, basically rust, mixed with cheap, abundant materials. No rare earths, no toxic sludge, and no risky supply chains. They're not as powerful, but they're durable, cheap, and you can find the ingredients anywhere. With a dose of clever engineering, Tesla is proving that you don't always need the strongest material, you just need the smartest system. So a fair question comes up. If these simple magnets are so common and clean, why didn't anyone use them from the start? The answer comes down to one word: power. Ferrite magnets are significantly weaker than their rare earth cousins. If you just dropped them into a motor, you'd get a sluggish, underpowered machine. In a world where instant torque is the ultimate selling point, that was a compromise nobody was willing to make. But times have changed, and Tesla is playing the long game. They realized you can't build millions of cars a year on a foundation of rare, expensive, and politically risky materials. So they changed the rules. Instead of chasing raw magnetic power, they shifted their focus to intelligent design. The new idea was simple but revolutionary. What if you could make a weaker magnet perform like a champion, just by being smarter? And if you want to see how they pulled off that incredible engineering feat, make sure you're subscribed to Dravexa, because what they did next is pure genius. So how did Tesla actually pull this off? You have to picture their new motors as being built with the precision of a Swiss watch. Every magnet, every coil, every sliver of metal is strategically placed for maximum possible efficiency. But the real secret weapon isn't the hardware, it's the software. Layered on top is a smart control system, an advanced brain that constantly adapts the power flow in real time. The result? Even with a weaker magnet, the motor performs like an absolute beast. It's not just powered by magnetism anymore, it's powered by pure intelligence. And you have to understand, this incredible effort isn't just for one car or one factory. This is the groundwork for Tesla's endgame: a future global fleet of autonomous vehicles running 24/7 in every city on Earth. For a vision that massive, sustainability and smart engineering aren't just nice ideas. They are the only way forward. Now just imagine for a second if that future was built on rare earth magnets. What would that look like? Skyrocketing costs, a devastating environmental toll, and a constant geopolitical time bomb waiting to go off. That's precisely why Tesla is engineering motors that are not only high-performing, but also sustainable and cheap to build. And in that grand vision, the humble ferrite magnet fits perfectly. The beauty of these magnets is their sheer simplicity. They're made from iron oxide, literally rust, a material you can source from anywhere. Unlike neodymium, which is locked down by a few countries, ferrite carries no political baggage. No single nation can weaponize it. No country can hold the world hostage with rust. And it doesn't leave a toxic scar on the planet we're all trying to save. This shift isn't just about finding a cheaper part, it's about completely rethinking what progress really means. It's a bold move away from chasing flashy specs and towards something far more important: creating electric cars that are not just futuristic, but truly sustainable. Cars that anyone, anywhere in the world, could one day hope to own. Built without starting a resource war or poisoning the very planet we're trying to protect. When you think about a huge leap in technology, you probably imagine some new invention that appears overnight. But the most profound revolutions don't come from new ideas. They come from finding a new perspective on old ones. And that's exactly what Tesla has done. Over a century ago, a visionary named Nicola Tesla dreamed of a world powered by silent, invisible energy. He gave us the AC motor, a breakthrough so far ahead of its time that the world simply wasn't ready. But he knew it held the key to the future. And if you love seeing history and the future collide like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button for Dravexa, because the conclusion to this story is one you won't want to miss. Now fast forward to today, and you can see that dream is no longer a ghost in a history book. It's alive, humming down highways all over the world, thanks to Elon Musk. But here's the key. They didn't just copy the past. They took that brilliant idea, found its flaws, and forged it into something new. A machine built for a world that demands more than just speed. A world that demands intelligence, sustainability, and the ability to scale to millions. The motor in a modern Tesla isn't just a motor anymore, it's a multi-tool. Thanks to a brain of smart software and advanced algorithms, it's also a generator, a stabilizer, and a range extender, all wrapped into one silent, seamless package. And maybe the most radical part of this whole story is Tesla's philosophy. In a world obsessed with new, they have a simple, almost humble mantra of take what works and make it work better. In an industry built on noise and hype, that quiet confidence is what truly sets them apart. So the next time a Tesla glides by, you're not just seeing a car. You're seeing the living proof that the best ideas don't have to be new. They just have to be perfected. It makes you question what innovation really is. Is it the big, flashy explosion that grabs all the headlines? Or is it the quiet hum in the background, the one that steadily, silently, changes everything? Tesla's story proves that true transformation doesn't need fireworks. Sometimes all it takes is a quiet hum, subtle, steady, and powerful enough to move the entire world forward. We live for these stories of game-changing tech here at Dravexa. If you do too, and you found this valuable, do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. Your click is the fuel that keeps this channel running and ensures you never miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.